Hello everyone, welcome to this chill stretch class. For this class, optional props, which you do not need to use, I'll give alternative stretches for both, are 2 blocks and a strap or a belt, or whatever works. Okay, so to start class today, we'll take our 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can just start laying in shavasana. And so what we'll do with the blocks is the first one you'll have on this lower volume here, and you're going to place it in between, not in between your shoulder blades, but sort of right below where your shoulder blades sit. And so before you lay down on that one, have the other block in your hand, because that's going to be for where your head rests. And you can either rest your head on this lower volume or the higher volume. You just have to feel what feels right for you. So, or just at least have this one nearby. So get into that position. So you lay back slowly and sort of find that spot right where your shoulder blades are. And then while you're prepping to get into the pose, you can try and find a place for your head to rest. So that can be on this high one here, or on this lower one. It's like whatever feels comfortable for you. And sometimes you gotta wiggle it around to get into that comfortable spot. So once you're laying here, just let the arms fall out to the side, and the feet can either be just resting flat, or you can put the bottoms of your feet together in the butterfly pose. And I am not really going to talk much in this class. I just want you to either be in silence or have music on. It's really just your time, and just connecting the breath with the body and observing everything that comes up in the mind, letting it go and coming back to the breath and the sensations in the body. So just unwind here, just start the class. And if you're hearing creaking, that is my umbrella and not my body. Big deep breaths so you can feel the air moving all the way into the belly, expanding the rib cage, the thoracic cavity, up into the neck. Couple more deep, slow breaths here, opening up the shoulders. And if your feet are in butterfly, then sort of opening up the hips a little bit, the inner thighs. Just feeling the weight of your body on the floor. your eyes are closed, just gently blink them open. I'm gonna come out of this pose now, so slowly, slowly you can bring the feet to the floor, knees bent. Get rid of that block under the head and under the shoulder blades. And we're still gonna use the blocks for the next one. If you don't have blocks, you actually don't need them for this, but so you'll do the same thing, just without any blocks. So for this next thing, we're gonna put both the blocks about shoulder width apart, so you can sort of grab opposite elbows and line up where your blocks are gonna be in front of you on the mat there. You can start just with this medium volume. Yes, that's the medium volume. Or you can go up on the higher volume, but I don't know, I have foam blocks, so they're a bit unstable for that. But if you've got like cork ones, sure, go for it, and you can get a bit of a deeper stretch on the higher volume. But just up on the knees, and the toes are tucked. They can either be toes touching, or you can have them apart. Just play around and see how you feel. Walk your knees a bit close to start off. And then we're gonna place both elbows on the blocks. And for now, just start with them there, sort of get in the middle so you've got some stability. Place the hands together, activate the core, just so you're not swaying in the back. And then just slowly walk the knees back. As you walk the knees back, your head's gonna fall down in between the the upper arms. And you don't want to just sink and sort of collapse rather into the shoulders. So keep a little bit of an activation there. This will be like a good shoulder opener. And just keep walking back as you're comfortable with it, keeping a little bit of activation, and then just sinking a little bit and getting a deep stretch in. You can drop the head if you want, as long as you're sort of not collapsing in the shoulders. And you can bring the fingertips, the thumbs, towards the center between your shoulder blades, which can sort of give you a nice tricep stretch as well. And you can also play with that and just move it around. Take some big deep breaths here. You can keep walking the knees back until you find that really sweet spot of sort of right at the edge of discomfort, but you shouldn't be in any pain. You can either stay here if you're enjoying that stretch, or if you just want to move around in it a little bit, I'm just gonna protract the shoulder blades in this position. So when you protract, you can feel that you push up out of the pose a little bit on the inhale, and on the exhale, relax back down. And you can just do a couple of those. Inhale, protract, activate the core here. You're kind of curled with the body, and exhale, relax, drop the belly down. Drop the head down. One more of those. Inhale, contract. Protract, protract. Exhale. Relax down. Just stay here for a couple more breaths. Move the hands as much as you want. They can just be waving back and forth towards the shoulder blades and back up. And static pose is also always an option, knowing that it's never really static. All right, blink your eyes open if they were closed. Gently come out, so just sort of walk the knees forward. If you got wobbly blocks, careful. Whew. And roll the shoulders back and down, sitting back on the heels. Tuck the toes under. Also completely optional. You can just be flat on the tops of the feet. done with the blocks for now. Actually, I think we might be done with them for good for this class. Pick up your strap if you have one. And if you don't have a strap for this part, all you're going to do is clasp the fingers behind the back at the sacrum. Inhale, breathe the heart up. Exhale, bring those hands away from the sacrum, stretching, stretching, stretching. And you can dive down if you want. Eventually you can get the forehead to the floor, or you cannot do that and just stretch these shoulders like this, okay? Or if you have a strap, just having it sort of, you can start pretty wide, and we're gonna slowly, arms straight, wrists are straight as well. You don't want them flexed or extended, and you're pulling tension on the belt, and you're just going to move through the range of motion of your shoulders, trying not to rush through those sticky parts. Linking it with the breath, so inhale, exhale. As you get a bit more warm, you can move the hands a bit closer together and just go at your own pace here. Stretching out those shoulders. Do a few of these at your own pace. I'll just leave you here. Couple more, and then we'll move along. Just feel how you can heat up so easily into the shoulders, just lubricating the joint just by getting that full range of motion in, which we don't always do every day. All right. Leave that strap. We won't need it anymore. Tap your toes out if you were sitting with them tucked under. And now, for the next part of class, we're going to keep those knees together, and then hands are in front of you, shoulder width apart. Then you're going to spread apart the legs so the toes come to the wide edge of your mat, and you're going to sit down carefully. So, sitting back, so you're sitting in between the heels, so your butt comes down and your knees shouldn't feel any pain. If you feel pain, skip this one. And our feet are activated, so your toes are activated into the floor to help protect that knee. So we're sitting here. Our hands have come a little bit behind us now, and just get comfortable here. So you don't want to sink or anything into this pose too soon. So you want to pull up out of the pelvis and tilt a little bit as if you were sticking your butt out to someone behind you. So you get that tilt in the pelvis, and then magnetize the navel to the spine. Roll the shoulders back and down, and then sort of sink back. So you're pulling out and not sinking down. And we're just going to slowly lean back here. So you can always just stay up if that's enough of a stretch for you, but you can slowly walk down to your elbows. Stay here for a moment and try again that activation. So you're activating the toes, activating the core, and then as you exhale, you can sort of sink back further. And if you feel like it's accessible to you, you can lay flat with the hands either out to the side, or they can stretch above you holding opposite elbows, whatever is more comfortable. Some big deep breaths here. Sort of want to think about, even though you're stretched backwards like this, magnetizing the pubic bone to the sternum as you also maintain that core engagement without tucking the pelvis under. Don't want to tuck anything under, but it's just a little bit of a magnetization, so to speak. Big deep breaths here. Keep those toes activated into the floor. One more deep breath here. All right, slowly, slowly come out of it the same way you came back in. So up onto the elbows, into the hands, and then you can lean forward and just, again, tap the toes out, roll the ankles a little bit. All right, good. Okay, so staying in that sort of turned out position with the left foot, you'll come on your butt first, actually. That's a bit easier. Both the legs are out in front of you, and you're just going to take the left leg first. You're internally rotating, so bring that left leg into a similar position of same position rather of what we were just in, and we're just in this half pose of what we did before. So on your inhale, lift the arms up above the head, breathe the heart forward, arch it forward. Exhale, reach forward, going for the calves or the floor or the foot, whatever is accessible, and just chill out here. You don't need to worry about having a straight spine. You can curl it down if you want, whatever feels more comfortable, and just don't try and push it at the beginning. Just go where you feel that initial resistance, and that's where you start taking your deep breaths, and you see how things will open up from there. Just listening to the body, all the sensations, breathing where you have, focusing your breath rather on some of those more intense spots, and seeing how that moves things along.
On the next inhale, gently roll up out of the pose.
Exhale, relax. Inhale, lift the hands up above the head. Exhale, we're twisting towards the legs. So left arm comes down, right arm comes behind you, and just mini twist here. You can tent the fingers behind you. Left hand comes to the outside of the right leg. On each inhale, you're growing from the navel. On each exhale, you're twisting more from the navel. On the next inhale, lengthen. Exhale, return to neutral. We're going to switch sides, so straighten that left leg out in front. Slowly, slowly shake that out. Swap sides, so internally rotate, keep those toes active. Swoop that right leg up so it's in this bent shape where your butt is sitting inside the heel, and activate those right toes into the ground. Activate the left foot as well, so heel is sort of digging into the ground just so you feel where your body is on the mat. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, heart leading with the heart, forward fold down.
Forearms can come to the floor, or hands can come to the calf or the ankle or the foot. Whatever you're comfortable with. Straight spine, curled spine. It's just about finding that threshold between ease and effort, and taking your deep breaths there to see how things unfold. Noticing if there's a difference between the first side and this side, and avoiding telling yourself a story about it. On the next inhale, gently roll up.
Exhale, straight spine. Inhale, hands above the head. Exhale, twist. Right hand comes to the outside of the left leg. Left fingertips tenting behind you. Each inhale, you grow, lengthen the spine, and each exhale, you twist from the navel. Don't forget about activating those right toes into the ground still. Feeling your hips as the base. On the next inhale, lengthen. Exhale, untwist, return to center. Okay, now shake up that right leg, both legs in front of you. From here, you're going to put both hands behind you. Your triceps are wrapping in towards each other. You're kind of about half a foot or something behind both hips, and you're about shoulder width apart. And from here, you're going to push the hips up and come to big stretch here. Feet can come flat on the floor, shoulders feel a pretty intense stretch, perhaps. Keep lifting the hips up, activating the glutes. Magnetize pubic bone to the sternum. You can drop the head back if you feel it's accessible, or you can keep it straight. Couple more breaths here. And relax down on the exhale. Shake the shoulders out. Now, we're going to come to a wide forward fold. So, come lengthwise on your mat, both feet wide on the mat. Turn the toes a little bit in towards each other. Bend the knees. Tilt the pelvis up towards the sky with the micro bend in the knees. On the inhale, hands are flat on the floor. Flatten the back. Exhale, forward fold down. You can grab opposite elbows here, or you can rest your forearms on the floor, whatever is accessible, whatever feels good. Keep that whole foot activated. So you can lift your toes up so you can get a good idea of the activation where the toe mounds of the big toe and the pinky toe are shooting into the floor, as with the heel, as if there's spikes in all of them and you're spiking yourself into the ground. You can grab opposite ankles, or you can put the peace fingers between the big toes, bend the arms, activate the biceps, and pull straight spine here. Looking straight towards the floor to keep that spine straight instead of ducking the head in. You can rock into both legs to feel the buoyancy that you've got, just to make sure your weight is even. Now from here, release the hands wherever they are. Take the right hand, grab the outside of the left leg, whether that's up high or down low. And then with your left hand, scoop it inside, so closer to you than the right hand, and try and sweep it through to the other leg. Grab it and twist so your head can peek through under the right armpit. Really activating the arm bones so they're not sinking, they're not being pulled out of the socket, they're locked in. Close down the eyes here if you're comfortable. Inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, twist a bit more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, slowly release. Hands come in front of you. Other side. So we take the left hand, we grab the outside of the right leg. Then we take the right hand, we swoop it inside, closer to our chest than the arm. Sweep through so your head is starting to duck under your arm. And if you can reach, it could be the upper thigh. And you just try and grab that leg and twist yourself through. Remember to keep those arms activated into the sockets so they're not getting sort of pulled out, and your shoulders can stay down and not up in the ears as much as possible. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Keep that micro bend in the knees. Keep that pelvis tilted towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, unravel, come out of it. Shake the legs out a little bit. Pop the hands in front of the long side of your mat. Come onto your knees first. What we're going to do now is a bit of frog. So you can place the elbows down in front of you, resting up on your knees, and then slowly walk the knees out. Turn your thigh bones outwards and rest where is comfortable for you. You want to be sitting back. You don't want to sort of lean forward in this, and you want to keep your belly activated. So you don't want to sink the belly and everything. So you want to be pushing back towards the heels and then activating the belly into the spine and keeping that same sort of tilt what we've had throughout class. And you just sit here for as long as we do this for today in class. Just take some deep breaths here and see what your body allows. You can bring the head down onto the hands. It's accessible. If not, stay up propped on the elbows and keep pushing back. Focusing on your breath, noticing if your mind is wandering, which it inevitably will, and coming back to the sensations in the body and directing your breath to the most intense sensations. Seeing what little micro changes occur in the body. Couple more deep breaths here. Slowly come out of it. So the elbows come up to the ground. And then you can just bring your heels in together. Toes push you maybe back a bit, and your knees can come in. Really, however you get out is fine. Just be gentle and slow. Come up, sit on the heels. Palms face the sky. Just recalibrate everything briefly. Gently blink the eyes open. Now that we've opened up the thighs in frog pose, we're gonna do a straddle pose sitting down as well. So on your butt, legs out to a wide straddle pose. You can keep the legs micro bent and sort of rotating the thighs backwards, which just helps keep things a bit active, or you can just relax, whatever works. You can actually use a block here as well, which is nice to not go down as far and just let things open up slowly. So you don't have to open up as wide as humanly possible, so you're already in a stretch. You just kind of keep it comfortable here. Tilt the pelvis back, reach the heart forward on the inhale, and exhale, forward fold. You can bring your forehead to a block, which is really nice, and the hands just come forward. Or if you don't have a block, you can rest the thumbs in between, that space between your eyebrows, and just rest the head really heavy. Whatever works. We'll be here a while. I won't cue again, and just let things open up slowly with the breath. Notice if your body allows you to go down a level on your block, or move it a bit forward, or just stay where you are. Again, coming back to the breath and the sensations in the body if your mind is wandering, which it inevitably will. Gently, gently roll back up. Coming out of this stretch, shaking the legs out a bit. You can bring them back in. Pop the block away. We're going to do some pyramid pose. So facing the front of your mat, or whatever side, doesn't really matter. Place the right leg in front of you and the back leg turned at a 45-degree angle, or you can keep it like with the toes, the heels lifted. I'm just going to pop it down and do a micro bend here, so your legs can go on a train track. They're not directly behind one another, so your heels are separated as if on a train track. Micro bend your legs so you have this buoyancy where you can get your hips square. And once you feel like you're in a good spot with the hips square, lift the belly off the thigh. On the inhale, straighten. Exhale, forward fold. Keep that micro bend. Activate the feet, so toes can activate up, and you spike the mound of your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel into the floor, and see how that lifts the arches up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. You can keep doing that. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, or you can just stay down in the forward fold.
can do mini spinal waves instead. Whatever works. All right, you have the option to stay here, or if you want just a little bit of a spicy challenge, just bring the back foot in a little bit, and you're up on your toes here. And then walk the hands back. So they are tented and your thumbs are facing towards your front heel, and you're sort of pushing out of the ground there. So you can feel as you push, your whole core turns on, your shoulders protract. And as you do that, come up onto the right tippy toe if you can. Just hold this pose here. Keep compressing, and maybe you compress so much that the left heel goes into the butt cheek. Slowly bring it back down. Open up to a forward fold. Drop the elbows. Just a little bit of spice in this chill stretch. Okay, now walk to the other side. We'll do pyramid pose on the other side. So left foot is forward, right foot is 45-degree. Heels are on a train track. Micro bend the knees, straighten the hips or square the hips. Use that micro bend to find that buoyancy where your hips align, your belly comes engaged off the thigh. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Can keep moving like that, or you can stay folded forward, or you can do mini inhale waves, spinal waves. Activate the feet. Now for the challenge. So you either stay in that forward fold or bring that back foot in up on your right tippy toes. Walk the hands backwards, up tented on your fingertips, pushing the floor away, thumbs facing the left heel. Push up onto that left tippy toe, and then compress, push out of the arms, and then tuck that right heel into your butt cheek. Compress, and come out of it. Swoop forward, forward fold, deep breath, deep bend. Let it go. While you're in this forward fold, bring the heels in, toes come out, elbows come to the inside of your knees. Grab the ankles or the feet, and then push the knees back with the elbows, so you straighten forward, roll the shoulders back and down, and feel this nice stretch here. You can rock back and forth, or you can stay relatively still. Very good. Okay, we're just going to do pigeon pose before we end class. So, coming to the front of the mat, right foot's in front, just walk that foot to the left side of your mat, activate onto the knife edge of your right foot, and gently drop the knee, drop the hip. You can have the toes tucked at first, just to find that sort of activated pigeon pose. Your right knee is magnetizing towards the left foot, so you're really turning everything on at first. Then you can untuck the toes. And from here, inhale, heart comes forward. Exhale, forward fold here. Again, you can be on the elbows. Thumbs can be between the eyebrows, or you can rest your forehead in your hands, keeping that activation of the right knee towards the back foot, so you keep the hips square. And deep breaths here.
If you want a bit of a variation, pop the left hand forward and pop the right hand forward. See if you can flatten out here a little bit. Then activate, so you're pushing off the right hand, so you come up a little bit. Swoop the left hand under the right arm and see if you can rest your head down on the floor. Take some deep breaths here. This is completely not necessary. You can just sit in a regular pigeon however you want. If you want a little bit deeper, internally rotate that right arm, swoop it down behind your left butt cheek, and you can try searching for the foot. Sometimes it's not there. And you can grab it, or you can wiggle it down, and there you can find it, and then you're in this twist. Again, not necessary. Slowly come out of the pigeon pose on the right hand side. Gently bring that left leg forward. We'll swap to the other side. So bring the left leg into the front. Activate that left foot. Knife edge is digging into the floor. And then you can just, in however you want, get into the other side. Keep the toes tucked at first just to get that activation. Left knee activates towards the right toes. Couple deep breaths here, and then on your next inhale, heart comes forward, lean forward onto the elbows, or head comes flat, forehead comes flat onto the hands. You can untuck the toes once you're comfortable-ish. If you want a little bit more, put both hands out in front of you. Push out of the left hand. Right hand swoops through, resting on that shoulder. Some deep breaths here, resting the head on the ground. Then on your next inhale, lift that left arm up, internally rotate, swoop the arm down behind you. Maybe you find the left foot to grab onto in a half bind. And just rest here. When you're ready, come out of the pose slowly, slowly, slowly. Swoop that right leg to the front of the mat. Knees come together, bent in front of you. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, roll down, vertebra by vertebra. Tuck the chin, slowly come down and relax into final shavasana. Thank you for joining me. Stay here as long as you need. And thank yourself for showing up.